Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Christina, and for today's video I totally forgot to film an intro, and so that's why you see me doing a voiceover over some extra footage that I have. I know that looks totally weird, but I thought it'd be even worse if the first thing you saw was just like my bare, horrific, rough face. Like, I did not want that to be the first scene, so I feel like this is just like a lot better than that. So anyways, I also wanted to explain to you guys why there's a second part to my Lawless and Safari palette video. The reason why is because I really wanted to see if the end result would change if I changed out the setting powder, because I feel like the Lawless liquid foundation was amazing, but as soon as I set it with the powder accentuated all of my pores, my fine lines, my texture, and it made my face look really powdery, and my face felt super dry. And you guys know that setting spray or facial mist, whatever, same thing, as soon as you spray that onto your face, it just like melts everything together. It makes it look luminous and makes it look like skin. But no, that did not happen. I drenched my face twice and still nothing. Super powdery, super dry. So I wanted to do that today and see what happens. So everything is completely the same. All the skincare products are completely the same. The only thing I changed was the powder. So as for the Safari palette, I was super excited to finally get my hands on that palette. I was waiting forever to get it because I was seeing all these sneak peeks on Trendmood, and it was just like driving me crazy. And I literally got the palette an hour prior to filming. I really wanted to play with it, and especially I wanted my first impression to be on camera. But the only problem was I was like really super short on time and in a rush, and when I'm in a rush I just like cannot think, I cannot like function properly, and I kept like missing steps and all that. So just like my eye look did not turn out the way that I really wanted it to. So this time around I really wanted to like give it my full time and my full effort so you guys can see like the amazingness that this palette is and just see what it has to offer you. So hopefully you guys like this video a lot better, and if you do, please don't forget to subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm gonna be mixing Mojave and Pristine again, just like I did yesterday. But I'm really interested to see if it's gonna pump out better today. Maybe it's because it's like the first time it was used, it had a harder time like coming out yesterday. So let's see if that's the same case. Okay, yeah, it pumps totally normal now. So yeah, it's probably just because it was new, I guess. So yeah, it's pumping totally fine today. I'm not having any issues. But like I would say the pump is a little bit hard to control. Like it pumps out like a lot at once. It's not little. So it definitely pumps out like a lot of product. Even when I was trying to do like a half pump, it wouldn't pump out. So you really have to push it down all the way. But when you do, then like a large amount comes out. So I'm not a fan of that, but it's okay. Alright, I'm done pouncing around with my beauty blender, and just like yesterday I do have a fairly generous amount still left over on my hand, and that's because the pumps are really hard to control and they squirt out product just like liberally. So that's like my only complaint about the foundation, is just the pump itself. Okay, so I'm using the same concealer as last time, the Cover FX Power Play Concealer. I'm using the KKW contour stick in shade medium. Okay, so Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. Okay, so I'm gonna set my entire face with this powder just like I set my entire face with the Lawless powder yesterday. And I noticed that I didn't talk to you guys about the Cover FX concealer because it's pretty new. I think it only came out like last week or something, and I do want to say that after using it a couple times, I absolutely love the concealer. It feels very lightweight. It covers like full coverage, I would say, and it doesn't feel like heavy, and it doesn't feel like drying either. Like, okay, I don't think I've talked to you guys about the concealer, the Cover FX concealer, since it's fairly new. I can't believe I haven't even brought it up, but I think it only came out like 2 weeks ago or something, and I've used it a couple times now, and I think it's totally safe to say that it's like my new favorite concealer. I love it. It's just as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape, and even though they look like there's a huge difference in size. They're actually both 10 milliliters. It's just the packaging. So they're the same amount of product, and I feel like the Cover FX one has a really great like undertone to it for like brightening your under eyes. It's a very thick consistency, but it's very light feeling though. It's very light feeling, it's full coverage, it blends really well, it looks good, it doesn't settle into your fine lines, because for the Tarte Shape Tape, I find that once it goes near my under eyes and, you know, to the little wrinkles and stuff, it really starts to like really dry out that area. So over here it's okay, but once it gets close to like right here, it really dries out that area and gets patchy. Even after you set it, it just gets worse. But with the Cover FX, it's definitely not like that, so I really like it. So highly, highly recommend. Here's contour my nose. I'm gonna use the shade Sombre from Kat Von D's Shade and Light palette, but I actually, to save money, I bought a Morphe magnetic, like refillable empty case thing, and I just bought her refillable shade, so that's so much cheaper, because with the Shade and Light palette it's like $55 I believe, and I would only need just that one color, but instead I just bought her refillable pan and just put it in here. So just a tip, if you guys like her Shade and Light palette but you only use a few shades from it and you want to save some money, just buy her refillable palettes and put it in a magnetic case. I recommend buying the Morphe ones because they're the cheapest that I found. Like I've looked everywhere, like Amazon, Sephora, Ulta, all that stuff. Like for some reason, empty magnetic cases are strangely very expensive, and I have no idea why. But Morphe sells them for super cheap. It's the biggest size doesn't have a mirror, so I got the second biggest size because it does have a mirror. They're only sold online, by the way. They don't have them in stores, so. But I highly recommend that if you want to save money and are looking for a good case, then just get the Morphe one, because other ones are just like ridiculously expensive. Like for the rest of the video, I'm gonna be using Jaclyn Hill's Master Collection brush set, whatever you want to call it, because it's been sitting around and I haven't tried it, and I really want to try it before all her individuals sell out, because for me, every time I really like a brush, I would always like to buy 2 or 3 of them, just in case like they're dirty and I didn't wash it, I need to use it, and then it's like, oh my god, the brush is dirty, what am I gonna do? So I always like to have like duplicates for that reason. So let's try them all today. So this is her JH05. I know that she created a brush meant for contouring. I don't know if it's this one, but whatever, it looks like it would be a good brush for that. Oh, it's dense. Oh my god, it really picks up color. Okay, okay. Whenever I'm doing my contour, I always pat in and tap on the powder before I start to blend. I don't just like go in, because I only set the inner center parameters of my face. I don't do the outside just because it doesn't get oily. So, and plus on top of that, I contour. So I figure, you know, the contour will set the foundation, because your goal is to use as little powder as possible, because that's what's gonna make your makeup look more natural. So I figure this is the best way to use less powder on my face, by setting the outside areas with bronzer or contour, because I'm gonna contour anyways, you know? Makes sense to me. But since it's not set, it's wet, if you just like go right in and just start doing that, you're gonna start moving around your foundation. So you wanna tap it on first, which means you set it, and then you can blend it without causing any disturbances. Okay, I'm not really liking this brush for, this is a terrible brush for contour. Maybe I'm using the wrong one. I don't know which one she said was supposed to be her contour brush, but if this is it, then it's no bueno, no bueno. No. Just no. 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 Because it's dragging. It's not, I feel it. You can even hear it. Like it's dragging. It's not a nice I feel like it's disturbing my liquid foundation and it's just like making this like a muddy mess. Like, no. Don't recommend that, no. Okay. I'm just gonna use what I usually use, which is the Morphe M530. Hopefully I can save my face because it disturbed my foundation a little bit. Okay, so my cheek contour is a bit messed up because of that brush, so just try and ignore it. It's really patchy right now, but it's also dark. So I'm gonna, to fill in the patchy parts, I'm gonna grab the Hoola light bronzer so that it doesn't get darker and darker, you know? I just wanna fill in the patchiness. And since that blush blended it horribly, do you see how there's like a super harsh line on top? I'm gonna try and blend that out with, I'm gonna grab that Charlotte Tilbury powder again, and I'm gonna try and just buff it out. I'm gonna use this NARS brush to do this. Just tap along the edge, and then tap along the edge one more time, and then blend. For me, when it comes to like contour brushes and blush brushes, I like it to be like fluffy, so you know it can have like a diffuse effect, because if it's too stiff and dense, it's not gonna blend. It's just gonna boom, put it where it is, and it's really hard to like move it around and blend. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's just very stiff and hard to work with, and that's what I felt like that JH05 brush felt like, so I don't think that's a good contour brush. I wouldn't even know what to use that for anymore. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna go in with the JH06. I'm gonna use the makeupfoirever refillable blushes that I picked out. I'm gonna mix, this one only holds 3 and I bought 4, so the 4th one got assed out and got put into the Morphe magnetic pan. I'm gonna mix this really light one up here with this dark one over here. I really like this brush actually for bronzer. I mean for blush. I really like this brush for blush. I like it when I get it looked. Okay, Safari palette round 2. So my eyelid's already primed with Painterly Paint Pot, and I set that very lightly with some translucent powder, JH30 brush, and go in with Tamarind. I always tap on my powder first before I start blending. And I always start in the center so it has room to blend, because every time you blend, everything extends. So you want to start in the middle so it can have room to go over here and over here. If you start at the end, then it's going to be so much color over here and it's going to be hard to drag it all over your eyes. So always start in the center. Okay, I actually really like this JH30 brush. I like it's in the Win column. I'm gonna use the JH37 for my under eye. I have no idea what this brush was actually like meant or made for, but I like it for my under eye. Like that, okay. I'm gonna pick up the same brush as earlier and go in with Desert Date. Right here. I'm scared, it's really orange. And just a tip, when you're patting on your eyeshadow colors, don't use the tip of the brush to dip into the pan. Use the side of the brush, one side, any side of the brush, and just tap into it. So it's only on one side and then pack with that side. I'm gonna take the JH02 to wipe off this. So I'm gonna use Tribe right here with the JH34. It's a pointy brush, so I'm hoping it'll be good for the crease. Ooh, love the color, love the brush. So far, so good. Okay, to cut my crease, I'm gonna use the Morphe R42. I also use this brush to carve my brows, and it's also good for wetting and packing on color onto your lid. So I have 3 of these guys, that's how much I love it. I'm also gonna use this Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation as the thing to cut my crease. Okay, I know up close my like nose contour is like whoa to you guys right now, but don't worry, it will look less crazy and harsh later, I promise you. I've been here, done that, I know it will. Okay, see? Do you see my carved crease? I promised you from my last video that would look better for this video, because my last video I had not slept for like 48 hours. So when I carved my crease in the other video, it wasn't as precise. And I already told you guys, I swear, my carved creases are usually not this ugly, but usually it's more precise. And I told you, I slept for 16 hours today, so that is why I'm a lot more alert for this video, and why my cut crease is gonna look a lot more precise, defined, perfect. And you always want to start from the bottom to the top, because if you start like in the middle or from the top or something, like what if you go over your crease, you know? It's easier to add more than to take away. Okay, so I know usually everybody starts to pack on their lid color by now, but I actually don't like to do that. I am going to grab the JH33, and I'm gonna do my outer corners first, just because I find that when you pack on your lid color, which is usually a shimmer color, sometimes if you're not careful, which I usually am not, it'll like, and somehow it always manages to do it regardless of how careful you are. The color, the shimmer color, will always like end up in your outer corner area, and it's really hard to put like a matte shade and pack on and blend once that shimmer is over there. So that's why after I cut the crease, I like to put on my outer corner color first, just so that when the shimmer hits it, then it'll be easier to like go over it and just like make it go away later on. So yeah, so for my outer corner, I'm gonna go in with, I'm so excited. In the mail today, my all my holiday collection stuff that I ordered came in. I have the Pat McGrath Mothership 5. I have the Too Faced, like I think it's called like the Christmas calendar or something like that. I don't know, just like I bought all the holiday collection stuff that is currently available right now, and I'm so excited to play with it. Since I don't know how far I'm gonna take the shea on top, I'm just gonna put the shea right where, do you see how like this is where it ends on top? I'm gonna make it end the same place on the bottom. So if I decide to drag it forward more, then I'll drag forward more on the bottom as well. But for now, I'm just gonna make them even. Okay, so for my lid color, I'm gonna use the Norvina palette, and I'm going to use the shade Dreamer right here. And no. Don't you hate it when your nail accidentally like drags into the shadow? Like, look at that, I just destroyed passion. So like whenever I watch a show, I'm like so invested in the characters as if they're like real life people that I know. And plus also, like, you know, every show, especially if you really like the show, like whatever parts about the show that you relate to, they really get to you. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever problems you're having in your life, and it just happens to be part of the plot line in the show, it really gets you. Okay, so now that I'm done packing on the lid color and see like the completed look and how everything looks, I've decided that I'm not gonna drag in this outer corner color anymore. So I'm just gonna go back in with all the colors that I used before in the transition and crease, just to deepen up their colors. And I'm also gonna like blend everything out so there's no like harsh lines anywhere for anything. I'm gonna use like this super tiny brush, the JH40, just to blend the lid and outer corner color. Just, it's clean. I'm not gonna put any color on it. Just, it's a little harsh, so I'm just gonna blend it out. This is Malaya, by the way. Sorry, up here, Malaya. I really hope I'm saying these names correctly. I'm gonna use the JH09 which in the video she said was the same thing as the R36. So, which they do look the same. Hold on. I think mine is just fluffier because I've already used it and washed it, and hers is literally just brand spanking new out of the packaging. But I remember in her video she did say it was the same thing. So anyways, on to highlighter. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight with a KKW highlighting palette. I have, I think there's a couple of them. I'm in palette 1. I'm gonna go in with this color right here. I'm just like rotating the brush in the pan so that the whole entire brush will be coated from all sides, all directions. I'm gonna use the same setting spray I used yesterday, which is the badescu Urban Rose Water one. It's not even a setting spray, it's a facial spray, but whatever. Okay, now I'm gonna do my liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, I forgot inner corner highlights, so I'm gonna grab the JH30 brush and I'm gonna go in with the Kylie Thirsty palette and use the color. I have no idea what it is. It's this guy. I'm not gonna bother searching for the name, sorry. Just really hate it when they don't put it at the front, and on top of that, not only is it not like right underneath the pan, but when you look at it from the back, it's in reverse, so it's just like really irritating. And now finally we're gonna do lips. Okay, I'm gonna go in with Kylie's birthday suit. It's a velvet liquid lipstick, and I'm gonna go in with just, I'm gonna mix this, watch. So just put a dab in the center of both. And then use my finger to smooth it out so it's like a really, really thin layer. A good trick is if you want your lipstick to last all day, use like a liquid lipstick underneath, like a light layer just like I did, and then put a lipstick on top. So and use it, do it while it's still wet. Hold on, let me do this. This is Butterscotch from Dose of Colors, my go-to. This is Nude Nude. Just pat it on top. And I like using my finger because it warms up the product. It makes it like easier to like spread around. A good tip is to, while the liquid lipstick underneath is still a little bit wet, it hasn't like fully dried down yet, put the lipstick on top and it'll like absorb and like melt together and kind of change the color of the liquid lipstick and blah blah blah, and it'll like dry down. So then for the rest of the day, like after you eat or just like wear time and stuff like that, like it'll always look like you have lip product on. So yeah, it'll wear off a little bit like after you eat and whatnot, but still the whole day at least it looks like there's some color on your lips, so it doesn't look like you have like a full face and then no lips, which is something I really love because I hate retouching lipstick throughout the day. Like I just can't. Okay guys, look at my face. Look at my face. Look at it. I feel like this is a huge difference from Lawless Part 1. So I think it's safe to say that I was right. It was the Lawless Seal the Deal setting powder that did not combine well with the liquid foundation on my face and made it look not as like nice and airbrush as I wanted it to. So usually setting powders are supposed to, you know, ideally you want it to like fill in your pores and your fine lines and kind of like blur everything and give you that airbrush finish, and Lawless definitely didn't do that for me yesterday. So it's definitely the powder, because remember I used the same primer, so, and I used the same setting spray and everything, so I'm pretty sure it's definitely the setting spray. But like I said, I've had really oily skin before, so I recommend that if you do have oily skin, this is definitely for you. And on top of that, even though I didn't like the way it looked or felt, I can not deny that it is what it says it does. Seal the deal and absorbs oil, because my skin felt super dry and never oiled up, and it did like lock in my makeup, like whatever. Even though I didn't like how my makeup looked, it still looked the same from when I put it on till the end of my day, end of my nap even, you know? So it did seal everything in and kept it looking that way for the rest of the day. I just didn't like the way it looked, but it did seal the deal and it did keep me from oiling up. So oily skin people, this is for you. And then as for the liquid foundation, it's official. I totally love this. This will be staying in my collection. I will keep wearing it. Love the coverage, love the smell, love the buildability, love like the finish, like love everything about it, especially since it's a satin finish, and satin finishes always look oily on me. So if you really like satin finishes but they always look oily on you because you have slightly oily skin, hello combination, then definitely recommend this. It'll give you that skin look, it'll give you that lightweight feeling, but it won't look like too shiny on you. So love it. And on top of that, it's clean AF. So yeah, ask that Sephora thing. So it is what it says.